It's our last day. How have we done compared to what we thought?
Yeah, I had no idea when we were about to set off to come here whether a month was completely crazy to get this done, or whether it would be, I mean, I didn't really think it would be comfortable.
And it wasn't.
No, well...
Oh, it's been brilliant in some ways, and I found the effort of concentrating hours and hours every day, and all that I've learnt, sometimes going over old things and understanding them better, sometimes all the incorporating of the new predictive processing stuff. I've had such a lot of ideas, so I've enjoyed that side of it, but it's been quite a hard slog, hasn't it?
I think no, I wouldn't say slog for me. I've been really struck, and it's something that I know from experience and know intellectually, but have really confirmed this time, is what a rather small number of hours per day you can do and actually get loads done and not exhaust yourself, because I'm not exhausted, even though, you know, we've done masses this month, and
But you've done more than me, and I think a lot of that is age. I'm just, I have to have a sleep in the middle of the day or I can't keep going, and you're all young and then you can keep going. But we ended up, I've always added up the times that I work when I'm writing a book or something for most of my life, but I didn't realise you had until now. And you're more obsessional than me, so how did it work out in the end, the hours?
Yeah, so ages, like a year or more ago, we did a very rough, in a completely different way from our recent prep. We worked out an estimate of total hours, joint hours we thought around 300, as I say, by a completely different route. And then with the methods that we've adopted, and as I say, for me it's been an average of 5 hours a day. We're now at a total, I'm at a total of 120, you're at a total of 90. We're not done yet, but we're sort of approaching.
Nearly there.
So actually, you know, ballpark's about right. And it's quite cool to know that with 6 days a week, one lovely day off per week, you can get, you know, a project of this size and substance.
But we shouldn't neglect what we did before and what's still to be done. So beforehand, I can remember not just adding up what we thought it would take in terms of making the decision, but each of us sent each other, when we came across some interesting paper, and you did all the tech stuff, and you made all these lists of all the different papers, and we sent notes to each other. So we came here with a list already of the things that we needed to do for each chapter, didn't we?
We came with a list that hadn't been sorted into chapters yet.
And that was the first thing we did. We sorted that all into chapters. And then we went through a spreadsheet with all the chapters and all the different things we wanted to do. And then we allocated them with a different colour to you're doing it or I'm doing it. And so many times I look at, oh, why did I say I do that one? And other times, oh, I really like doing this one. So that's how we began. And then we set off alone, didn't we? And until like 2 days ago, we worked on our own and found we had different methods. I wanted to read through each chapter quickly, but to get through this, so I understood the structure of it, then go to the list of things I was supposed to add, and then do the rewriting. And you did it some other way?
Yeah, I just decided to start from the coloured list that I had of, okay, I need to do these things for this chapter, and I'm not going to bother rereading the chapter first. I will save that until after I've made some edits so the rereading can see how that all works. And I think that was psychologically good for me in the sense of giving me a feeling of ticking things off quite quickly to begin with, which you didn't get. So, but your method was, I guess, more systematic. Or you...
I don't know. I think yours is probably better, but you know, it made me think: could we have known in advance what the best method was? Probably not. We did what suited us, and then we came together for the last 3 days to go through each other's queries. So we've put queries along, and that's what we've been doing today, and we're nearly there. Or what about the sweets? We've got a row of sweets down here. You did this, didn't you? With numbers, with all the numbers of the 18 chapters, and a sweet when the chapter gets finished, so you can see there are still a few sweets left. A little cat that lives out in the garden came and started playing with them and had to put them back. And we've been inspired by this this banner that we made. This is a quote from our publisher. A new edition shouldn't involve a major overhaul. And when we've got too dug into things and thought we can't cope with this, we look at the banner.
Yeah, and there have been many challenges associated with the question of, okay, how much of an overhaul should a new edition be? Obviously, the field of consciousness studies and all its adjuncts is very fast moving at the moment. So 5 years in this field is rather different from in organic chemistry, for example. And we've, as you mentioned, accumulated lists of things over the years that were meant to, were our best shot at, okay, we think these things might be worth mentioning now. But that's tricky because then you feel like, well,
you're just cramming in loads and loads of stuff, and then you have to have the problem of, well, what are you taking out? And I've so many times, well, several times anyway, thought, right, that's a really old thing, I must take that out. Checked up on it, oh no, that's an absolute classic, I remember now, no, that can't go. And not wanting to spend too much time trying to work out what to throw out in order to make space, because we can't let the book just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, one of the publisher's stipulations was the word count has to stay pretty much the same, and that's really tough because you don't want to
throw out nice things that you like.
Yeah, you can't just take that kind of historically uninformed perspective where, well, if it's old, it's irrelevant and we need all the new stuff and nothing ancient. But then if you're leaving in stuff from the 70s or 80s or 90s, you have to be quite confident that it's not been completely superseded, and that's...
Or we have to keep thinking about the students and the teachers. Is this actually going to help them to know this? That's what I ask myself with some of these older things. Yes, of course I want them to know about William James and how brilliant he was in the light of our modern discoveries. But some of the things, as you've said, in the 70s and 80s, I'm thinking the criterion should be, is this actually useful for them to know? Will it help in any way? Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, and quite often that foundational research within a niche is really useful to get your head around, because that's kind of the more intuitive starting point for coming to grasp.
And what the big
something.
questions were.
Yeah.
Because in a way this book is everything surrounds difficult questions about the nature of mind, the nature of consciousness, and these different fields of research. You want to see where the questions came from, and them still be alive. So what now? Our last day. How much have we got left when we go home? The deadline is just under a month away. I plan on having another complete go-through, which is going to be quite tough when I get home and there are all the distractions, because here's been like, we can just work on this all the time we want to. But I will go through everything, any remaining queries, a few things that in my head going round and round. I really, really want to explain this better. That's what I'm going to do. What about you?
Well, I have a long, colourful document of leftover tasks. And yeah, there are varying sizes, but yeah, I think a lot of stuff that's come up in my reading of the chapters over the last week or so has been partly of course it's been the updates and what else needs to change because of the updates, but also it's about something that you implied a few moments ago is relevant as well, just how to help anyone who reads this understand better, by really noticing every moment where I don't get that, or I had to read that 3 times to get that, and could we just be a little bit clearer? Could we replace the pronoun this with an actual noun phrase, for example?
Those little discussions we've had about just one word. And I've been thrown by things and you've been thrown by different things, and that's been very helpful working together in that way. Yes. Oh, well, I hope you readers of this book will enjoy it and that we've made some of the right choices. And I'm so glad that you said yes and that we have done it. Although that's a tentative until we get to the very end. But thank you, Emily, for making us come here and get on with it.
Yeah, it's been good, and I hope that readers will think that it's an improvement if they happen to, compare third and fourth, or just think that it works, for whatever purpose you as a reader may have for reading it. We hope it does the job.
Good luck and enjoy all those difficult questions. We have.